Good morning, Austin Lakay over here. I'll be talking and going over my training program for the year. My athlete is an MMA fighter. He is 24 years old. His name is Lee Johnson. He has goals to increase strength as well as drop down in body fat percentage and also increase muscle endurance in order to last longer for the later rounds. He also wants to increase his power. He wants to increase his power for striking purposes. So I did a couple of tests to assess my athlete. One of the tests, I'll name a few of the tests. The test we did to test him is, so to test his muscle endurance, I did a push-up test and a squat test. For both tests, he scored an average score, and in order to improve on his muscle endurance, we will have to up his strength endurance training in order for him to achieve his goals of having a greater muscle endurance where he can last in the later rounds. Another thing is power benchmarks. I've used the seated medicine ball test. So a study I found and I've read up on the internet, it said that elite fighters that win most of the time, they get a score of above 4 meters long. And unfortunately for my athlete Lee Johnson, his score is just on 4 meters, about 4 meters long, and our goal is to get him to 5 meters to be able to throw the medicine ball, which is about 5 kilograms. So we want him to score on this test 5 meters or higher. That way we will know he will have elite upper body power for more devastating striking. Another test we did was some flexibility tests. So for that I did the Thomas test to check on his hips. What we found is that there is some tightness in his hips, so I made sure to add extra stretching routines in the training program. Cardiovascular testing, use the air bike, which translates very well to combat sports because you use your entire body for the air bike. For muscle endurance, like I said, the push-ups and the squat exercises. And for lower body power testing, I used the vertical jump to test how much power there is in his legs. He received a score of 43 centimeters, which is okay for a mixed martial arts athlete like himself, but one of his goals is to increase his power, so getting that number up as well is definitely beneficial to achieve Lee Johnson's goals. So as you can see, we have our 4 phases and our training plans. So for the first phase, we have a general phase. Here we're gonna focus on increasing and strengthening Lee's physical abilities. So we want to increase his range of motion with stretching. We want to sort his hips out. Another exercise we did was exercise for his shoulders. In that exercise, the client had to put his hands behind his back, and if his hands can connect, then his shoulders is good. We found with his right shoulder, his dominant side, they tend to be more tight than his least dominant sides because of overuse, which can be quite common when training. So the overuse of a certain part will be tighter than the opposite. So for the second phase, now we're going to incorporate more skill-based sessions. So we included more grappling, more striking. The volume and intensity also increases as well during this phase, during the specific preparation phase, which is 4 to 8 weeks. Next, we'll have a competition phase. For our competition phase, there will be, this is where intensity will increase the most. Volume will die down a bit, but the intensity is at its peak here. For this phase, the competition phase, you want to make sure the opponent is ready and equipped with the necessary skills and preparation to go into competition and win. So finally we get to our transition phase. For this phase, we're just going to focus on simple training sessions, nothing too intense. In this phase, intensity will decrease, intensity and volume will drop the most, and the whole purpose of the transition phase is to influence recovery on our athlete of the high intensity of going through that competition phase. Thank you.